I started my entrepreneurial journey. I started from my home as a robotics trainer. From 2016 to 2019, I have taken 125 physical trainings. I was trying to figure out this problem कि क्या किया जा सकता है scale करने के लिए. Then came the best time of the history. Do you guys know what? COVID. And that day I got an idea that I can take my offline business to online. I started working upon that idea. 17th April 2020, I conducted my first webinar. My L1 was at the price of 1,000 rupees. And in that first webinar itself, with 0.8 megapixel Dell camera, जहाँ पे मेरा face भी बराबर से visible नहीं था, I have taken continuous webinar on every day, that too live. And we hit our first crore and in the upcoming 3 years, we were able to make 5.7 crore in revenue without running any ad, without having a L3. Are you guys excited to know how?
Give it up nice and loud. And let's give a standing ovation to, hey, come on, let's give a standing ovation to the one guy who's been able to do it with his team, and he's going to definitely share with us how he's got there without a single rupee spent in ads for L1. He's gone to 5.7 crores. Please help me welcome Umesh Yadav.
The dream of many Indians is to graduate from a reputed institute and get a placement in a multinational company. This dream I was able to achieve when I was in 7th semester of my engineering. When I came in 8th semester, I decided I am not able to going to join this multinational company. I am going to join a startup. I went to my training and placement officer and said, "Sir, could you please allow me to sit for this startup?" The training and officer said, looked at me, "Tabiyat theek hai?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Look at the salary that the startup is giving and look at the salary that this multinational company is giving." अब ऐसे डिसीजंस आदमी एक ही सिचुएशंस में लेता है, या तो उसके पास सुपर सॉलिड बैकअप हो, बहुत बढ़िया पैसा है, पीछे बैंक बैलेंस है, या तो उसको पैशन फॉलो करना हो, या तो उसको दुनिया एक्सप्लोर करनी हो. बट लेट मी टेल यू, मैं इनमें से किसी भी सिचुएशंस को क्वालिफाई नहीं करता था. I said to my TPO, convince my TPO. Now the reason I wanted to join a startup because I was getting an intuition. क्योंकि मेरी जो फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन थी, मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि बॉस कॉर्पोरेट में काम करके तो ये फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशन को बदला नहीं जा सकता. My father also backed me by saying कि corporate job is going to be a trap of comfortable zone. I gave the interview in the startup. I cracked that job. I started working in that startup, and that was the first time I trusted on my intuition, and that was the biggest decision I took based upon my intuition. It was going really well. I was loving working over there. And then, when I was working in that company, I came across an idea that to get a multinational company, the students, the engineers, need to know about many industry-oriented projects. I got this idea. I thought of testing this idea. I myself started giving back-to-back interviews. In fact, there was a time, in a day, I have given 4 interviews and I have cracked all of them. That's when I got the proof of concept. I thought this idea is going to work. I immediately quit my job. Now remember, whenever you get an idea, you don't have to wait for the right time. You have to make the time right. I quit my job. In 2016, I started my entrepreneurial journey. I started from my home as a robotics trainer. From 2016 to 2019, I have taken 125 physical trainings. I'm not talking about online trainings. I have been to Maharashtra, I have been to Karnataka, I have been to Tamil Nadu, I have been to Kerala, I have been to UP, Bihar, Maharashtra. You tell me the state, I have been there and taken the physical training over there. I was doing really well. 10 to 12 lakh profit in a year. I was very happy. But I was not growing. I was stagnant. Because to scale an offline business, you need to have funds. You need to have training institutes. You need to have teachers. Plus, there's always going to be a limitation that you are going to train a particular number of students in offline. I was trying to figure out this problem कि क्या किया जा सकता है scale करने के लिए. Then came the best time of the history. Do you guys know what? COVID. In March, I started getting a call from the coordinators that, hey, listen, Umesh, we need to cancel the training because of COVID. One call, second call, third call, fourth call, fifth call, sixth call. I had teams. I had expenses. I had office. पहले मुझे stress होता था. धीरे धीरे वो stress anxiety में convert होने लगी. I was trying to figure out what can be done now. 23rd March 2020, I was attending a webinar of SIDS. When I was attending the webinar of SID, he was selling his silver membership. If you become the part of silver membership today, this course you'll get for free. This course you'll get for free. This course you'll get for free. How many of you have seen that pitch and become the part of silver membership? I thought, what this guy is doing, I can also do the same thing. And that day I got an idea that I can take my offline business to online. I started working upon that idea. I started doing a research कि ये वेबिनार लिया कैसे जाता है. फिर मुझे समझ में आया, जूम होता है, एक लैपटॉप चाहिए, एक कैमरा चाहिए, एक माइक चाहिए. Then I thought, let me order all of this stuff. But that time, complete lockdown have begun in the country. Complete lockdown. I wanted to try to order the things online, but delivery was not available. Then I thought कि यार ऐसा कितने दिन तक वेट करें कि सिचुएशंस को परफेक्ट होने देते हैं फिर स्टार्ट करेंगे. I didn't wait for the situations to get perfect. 17th April 2020, I conducted my first webinar. My L1 was at the price of 1,000 rupees. And in that first webinar itself, with 0.8 megapixel Dell camera, जहां पे मेरा फेस भी बराबर से विजिबल नहीं था, I made 40,000 rupees in the first webinar itself. After 17th April 2020, 5 months from that time, I have taken continuous webinar on every day, that too live. And we hit our first crore in just 5 months. We started on 17th April 2020. 5 months from that, we earned 1 crore. And in the upcoming 3 years, we were able to make 5.7 crore in revenue without running any ad, without having a L3. Are you guys excited to know how? Do you guys want to know? Strategy number 1. Your network is your net worth. What do I mean by that? From 2016 to 2019, I have taken 125 physical trainings. In fact, when I was starting in 2016 and 2017, मैं एकदम पतला सा था, बहुत पतला सा था। ये बियर्ड नहीं थी, मूछ नहीं थी, और आप लोगों को पता है बियर्ड और मूछ नहीं रहती है तो कैसा दिखता है आदमी। मैं जब ट्रेनिंग्स लेने जाता था तो कोऑर्डिनेटर मुझे ऊपर से नीचे देखता था। वो मुझे बोलता था, दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी ए फिजिकल सेमिनार, इट इज गोइंग टू बी ए प्रैक्टिकल वर्कशॉप वेयर यू नीड टू ट्रेन एमटेक स्टूडेंट्स। और अपने मन में क्या बोलता था पता है? इसको देख के लगता नहीं है ट्रेन कर पाएगा। सो दे यूज्ड टू टेल मी, कॉल सम सीनियर एग्जीक्यूटिव फ्रॉम योर कंपनी। अब मैंने 2016 में कंपनी स्टार्ट की थी, मैं अकेला ही बंदा था कंपनी में, और मैं मन में बोलता था कहां से लाऊं सीनियर। एंड आई यूज्ड टू से देम वन थिंग, okay, listen to me very carefully everyone. All the people who feel I am starting out, there are bigger players than me, why someone will pay me the money, then listen it out very carefully. I used to tell them, sir, it's a 2 days of workshop, right? If your participants do not like the workshop, forget about paying me the fee for the training, मेरे होटल और खाने का एक्सपेंसेस भी मत देना आप। This is the bold promise I used to tell them. मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस देख के उनको कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता था, इतना बड़ा प्रॉमिस कर रहा है तो कुछ तो रहेगा। सो व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू, आई यूज्ड टू, व्हेनेवर द पार्टिसिपेंट्स यूज्ड टू एक्सपेक्ट एक्स नंबर ऑफ नॉलेज, I used to make sure that I give them 2x number of college and 2x number of knowledge. And that's the same thing happened. Whenever people used to attend my L1 webinar or L0 webinar, free webinar, I used to give them so much of knowledge which they have not received after paying 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 rupees to courses and trainings. In the free webinar I'm talking about, okay? Step number 2, when you are giving a lot of knowledge for free, and when you're treating your L1 as L3, I started treating my L1 as L3. How many people agree? How do you pamper your L3 people? L3 को हम कुछ ज्यादा ही पैम्पर नहीं करते, अरे इसने ज्यादा पैसा दिया है। तो what I used to do for my L1 students, I used to do audit calls for my L1 students, just to understand what are the problems and the challenges they are facing. I used to make a list of common problems and common challenges the people used to face. यहां तक मुझे समझ में आ गया कि common problems and common challenges क्या होते हैं. Then what I did, based upon the challenges, I used to design the product. मुझे क्या बेचना है उसके ऊपर मैं प्रोडक्ट नहीं डिजाइन करता था, उनके प्रॉब्लम्स के ऊपर मैं प्रोडक्ट्स को डिजाइन करता था. And then I used to present that product. People used to get the result from that product. After some time, what I started to do, listen to me very carefully. क्या होता था? वेबिनार में 6 प्रॉब्लम्स है, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have worked with your targeted audience, then 101% is sure that out of those 6 problems, your target audience is going to feel the connect. Oh, this is the problem I am also facing in my life. And then you need to tell that how your product was able to solve the problem for this particular person. That's when the connect happens. It does not matter how much famous you are. It does not matter how much followers you have on Instagram. If the person who is attending your webinar, if they are able to see that what problem they are facing, and if they are able to relate that your product is able to solve your problem, automatically the sales will happen. That's what I did. And that's how we were getting more number of conversions in L1 itself. Strategy number 2, serve your client as a servant. I told you before also that whenever I used to train my students, I used to not train as they are my students. I used to train them like they are the king and I am their servant. In fact, there had been a time that someone has called me at 2 o'clock in the night and said me, sir, tomorrow is my interview, can you help me out? And I picked up the call and I helped in at 2 o'clock in the night itself. That's how the publicity was done. That's how the publicity was done. And then the launch of L3. 2024, I became part of Quantum. I was having a one-on-one call with Sid. Sid told me, Umesh, you are doing pretty well. It's time to launch L3 at a price point of 50,000 rupees. In my mind, I was thinking, मेरा L2 20,000 रुपए का है और उसमें conversions होते नहीं हैं. और ये भाई साहब बोल रहे हैं L3 50,000 में launch कर दो. Let me ask this question to each and every one of you. How many of you can relate with me? कि सर L3 में तो conversion होता नहीं है, 5,000 का L3 है, उसमें conversion होता नहीं है. कौन मेरा L1 5,000 का है, उसमें कन्वर्जन होता नहीं है. कौन मेरा 50,000 का L3 लेगा? I asked this question to Sid. Yes, I asked this question to Sid. Sid said, what do you offer in your advanced courses? I said, in my L2, I just offer courses. So Sid told me, do you know what I offer in Diamond membership? He said, I offer them Polestar. I offer them Hives. The people who have become the 1 crore champions, they are the facilitators. They are going to train the people in Diamond. And then they are also going to get the advanced level of courses. I took his guidance and I prepared my L3 the way he guided me. He asked me to do a homework, watch a video, how you should launch L3, what is the system to launch L3. I watched that video. In the month of March, I launched my L3 at a price point of 50,000 rupees. 450 people were there in the webinar and 64 students enrolled at a price point of 50,000 rupees. The major learning over here is, in 2015 when I got an intuition that I can start a company, I quit my job, took a decision. In 2020, when I got an intuition that I can take my offline business to online, I took it. In 2023, when I was getting an intuition, if there are so many people part of Quantum, and everyone is having L3, and everyone is able to sell L3, then why I can't do? Why can't I do? That's when I got an intuition. Let's believe in Sid and become part of Quantum. And when I became part of Quantum, my intuition helped me to launch L3, and the results are in front of me. When you're leaving these 2 days of event, I'm pretty much sure that you guys are going to have a lot of ideas. Your mind will say, this idea will not work. But my dear friends, let me tell you, idea or intuition is a guest. If a guest is coming to you, you guys know how to treat the guest, right? You need to treat the guest like a god. Then only the guest will keep on coming. That's it from my end. Thank you so much. For Umesh Yadav. Come on, big standing ovation for Umesh Yadav. Wow. First of all, how many of you are blown away by his L1 data? Yeah? If he can do it, can you do it? Yes! Are you going to do it? Yes! Awesome, Umesh. I really want to appreciate you for blindly BIFA. Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
What is BIFA? Brain in the freezer action. So more power to you. You're going to be getting the 10 CR very fast. Wish you all the best once more. Standing ovation.